Hi everyone, my name is Natalie, and I'm going to be talking about the Rape of Lucrece. This was a narrative poem created by William Shakespeare, based on the woman Lucrece. So this is a picture of Lucrece. Lucrece was a woman who was raped by the son of a king, which happened to be the last king of the ancient Rome. Her suicide is what caused the Romans the to, is what caused Rome to go to be from she caused Rome from being uh, governed by kings to being governed by a government that listens to the people's interests. They're called consuls. Like I was saying, she's important to Roman history because her suicide actually led to the people basically overthrowing the government. After Sextus rapes Lucia, it was a catalyst to overthrow the monarchy and establish the Roman Republic. These two are pictures of the previous slide and this slide are pictures of at her after she committed suicide and people trying to fight to make sure that that government is overthrown. Shakespeare kept her story alive by creating this narrative, this narrative poetry poem. This was written in 1908. I'm sorry. This was written in 1594, and there was also an opera that was written in I believe 1946 by Benjamin Britten. But Tarquin, Sextus, the man who raped her, is actually referred to in Shakespeare's plays. Those plays also include Macbeth and Julius Caesar. So, like I said, who raped Lucrece? She was raped by Sextus Tarquinius, his eagle, and it was just so big that he was also known as Superbus. He was the son of Lucius Tarquinius, who was the last king of Rome. So I wanted to go back to Lucrece. So the reason why she committed suicide was because the ancient Romans believed that a woman who was raped was just as guilty of adultery as a woman who did it consensually. Back then, in ancient Roman times, adultery was a crime punishable by death. So after her rape, she made her husband and her father promise that they'll get revenge for what Tarquin had done to her, and then killed herself with a dagger because of her shame. Her body was then taken to Rome, where the Tarquin's family was insulted and shamed. The people of Rome were very moved by such acts that they also wanted the Tarquins out, so they did not want them to govern their people anymore. The Tarquins were all exiled, and the Roman government changed from kings to consuls, which basically was just a living government that just protected the city and promoted the citizens' interests there. I also wanted to point out the fact that the reason she's raped is is a little because of her husband's fault. And when I say a little, I mean a lot. Her husband's so they all gathered and they were talking about their wives' virtues, and her husband's description of her to his army companions, which one of them was Sextus. He basically described her as a shrine, a monument, a temple. He recalls her being pure, heavenly, divine, and an earthly saint. When he apparently there was no real attraction to her physically, but just hearing about how virtuous she was, it really had him going. Um, what leads up to the rape, he forced her to accept his sexual advances, or else he would, um, or else he told her that if he didn't accept having sex with, if she didn't accept having sex with him, he was going to kill one of her slaves and kill her, put their bodies together, and tell everyone that he caught her having sex with one of her slaves. She was cheating on her husband, and that he killed both of them in her husband's honor, trying to, I guess, defend his honor, um, which was obviously something very hard for her to hear. That's something very shameful and something, like I said, that is punishable by crime. It is punishable. They could kill you because of that, because it seems as though if a woman is raped, then in Roman times, ancient Roman times, that if a woman was raped, she's just as guilty as committing adultery as a woman who did consensually cheat on her husband. Um, so yes, so that's why she was very important to Roman history. Her story is kept alive by William Shakespeare. Um, and yes, these are my references. This was my presentation. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you guys are having a good day.